Now we understand the brain, let's look at the diet a little bit more. So I'm going to talk to you about 4 key things. I'm going to talk to you about our macronutrients, which are broken down into carbohydrates, protein and fat, and our micronutrients, which are vitamins and minerals. So let's start with carbohydrate. I'm going to refer to a great picture that I've got of a roller coaster ride, because this helps to understand what happens when we eat the right or the wrong type of carbohydrate. So when we eat a carbohydrate, whether it's a piece of pasta or a Haribo or a piece of broccoli or a piece of bread, no matter what type of carbohydrate that is, their ultimate fate is the same. We eat the carbohydrate and it takes about 20 to 30 minutes before it's absorbed into our small intestine. And that is where food is absorbed into the bloodstream. And when we eat a carbohydrate, by the time it's gone from the mouth to the small intestine, it's been broken down into glucose or sometimes fructose. So it goes into the blood as blood glucose, blood sugar, same thing. And the second that it hits the bloodstream and we've got sugar in the blood, glucose in the blood, the body will be alerted to say, there's sugar in the blood, that's dangerous, that's toxic. And it will be removed rapidly from the bloodstream and sent to the liver. That will happen through the help of a hormone called insulin. So it goes into the liver. And the liver is a huge organ and has this job of then converting that glucose, that sugar, and storing it. And it stores it as something called glycogen. Now, if you've just been for a run or you've been exercising or the bodies or the muscles are tired, it will quickly send some of that sugar, that glucose, to those muscles, whether it be the eyes or the brain for concentrating or the legs for moving, wherever the body needs it, that will go then from the food that we've eaten through to the bloodstream, into the liver, and then into those relevant muscles. Any excess so if the body isn't needing it right now, it's just had some carbohydrate, it'll store it in the liver, and any excess it will store as fat. We have different speeds though at which that process happens. And we've got a difference in carbohydrates. We've got fast-releasing carbohydrates and we've got slow-releasing carbohydrates. And the fast-releasing carbohydrates do exactly what they say. They are rapidly released into the bloodstream. So rapidly, it's like a tsunami effect of them entering the bloodstream. The more rapid it's released, the more rapidly it's removed into and sent to the liver. And the more rapid it's removed, the more rapid we come crashing down. And we start to see this huge spike in energy followed by a very sudden drop in energy. We suddenly find that we're more tired, we get a bit cranky, we're craving a little bit more, we might have a bit of low mood, might get a bit irritable. So the natural response that the body will want to do there is have something to pick it back up again. Now for some people that's a stimulant, that can be coffee or tea or Coca-Cola even. But for a lot of other people, that's picking up more carbohydrate, having a biscuit, or something that's going to fulfill that desire for more energy. And then if you do that, and then you do it with fast-releasing carbohydrate, you're naturally then putting yourself back on that roller coaster ride and spiking the blood sugar again. And you naturally come dropping down. We know that blood sugar fluctuating like that are linked with people who suffer from anxiety, irritability, low mood, mental confusion, and depression. And studies have shown that people who eat those foods regularly have higher risks or incidence of depression. But people who eat less of those fast-releasing carbohydrates, or people who switch from those fast-releasing carbohydrates to slower-releasing carbohydrates, are more likely to not go on to get depression or to be able to manage their symptoms of depression. Remember I talked about neurotransmitters. Well, neurotransmitters are made by these things called amino acids. And amino acids are found in protein. And protein is found in food. So protein that we find in food can come from animal sources or non-animal sources. Now, animal sources are complete proteins. They are the best form of protein. Poultry, meat, fish, chicken, eggs, dairy products, cheese, yogurt. They are really good sources of protein. But we also get non-animal sources of protein, which are very important whether you're a vegetarian or not. So if you're a vegetarian, yes, they're extremely important. And we get those from beans, nuts, seeds, pulses. Proteins, not only then do they help to make our neurotransmitters because they're made of these things called amino acids, but proteins and foods do something very, very important. Previously, I've talked about carbohydrates taking 20 to 30 minutes to break down. Protein takes 2 to 3 hours. So if you eat protein, it's going to sit in your stomach for 2 to 3 hours because it takes a lot of work to break down. So it's going to help you feel full and satisfied. Whereas carbohydrate might get a bit of satisfaction from it, but it's only going to be 20 or 30 minutes. It's going to be short-lived. It's eating the right type of carbohydrates, slow releasing, complex carbohydrates, but having that with a form of protein whenever you eat and combining the two, that they're first steps that we say in changes to the diet.